My topic is ambush marketing in detail explain, and let's go to the topic and let's go to the start. Ambush marketing is a strategy that involves a brand team trying to associate their products or services with a big event that already has official company's sponsors. In most cases, it happens during sports events and aims to raise brand awareness of a particular company with no sponsorship rights. The majority of ambush campaigns have one aim, which is to associate their company with the fame of a certain event without signing a sponsorship contract. Ambush marketing presents a rather unusual approach to creating a marketing campaign and, at the same time, includes full creative freedom and flexibility. Brands use various visual forms and wordplay to respond to marketing campaigns created by official sponsors of an event. Since such campaigns are extremely entertaining, they are more likely to attract the masses and are easy to remember. With this strategy, companies often employ methods that go beyond the scope of a brand's established guidelines. You can use ambush marketing in different ways, starting from PPC ads and search results to giant billboards on the most crowded cities' streets. Now that you know some of the benefits your brand can reap after implementing ambush marketing, it's time to find out whether it's lawful to use. Marketing in which a company attempts to advertise and promote its products by associating them with a public event, such as a major sporting event, without paying the fees that an exclusive sponsor is required to pay. The criticism Nike received for such activities tarred it as an ambush marketer. Sporting goods companies typically don't sponsor the event itself but its participants, athletes and national teams. Ambush marketing, also known as coattail marketing or predatory ambushing, is the practice of hijacking or co-opting another advertiser's campaign to raise awareness of another company or brand, often in the context of event sponsorships. One of the earliest known examples of ambush marketing is the bitter feud that erupted between MasterCard and Visa during the 1992 Winter Olympics, which was held in the town of Albertville in southeastern France. Having paid $20 million, approximately $35.5 million in 2018 dollars, for the privilege, Visa was the official credit card sponsor of the '92 Winter Games. For months prior to games, Visa ran TV commercials advising American Express cardholders to leave their Amex at home as the Olympics don't take American Express. Technically, this was true. Tickets to the games could only be purchased with Visa credit cards. However, Visa's aggressive ad campaign soon raised the ire of American Express, which claimed Visa's ads were purposefully misleading by suggesting that American Express cards were not accepted anywhere at the '92 Winter Games. Amex soon launched its own series of TV spots, which featured the slogan, "When you go to Spain, you'll need a passport, but you don't need a visa," a sly reference to the forthcoming Summer Games in Barcelona and a subtle dig at the company's rival. American Express was accused by Visa of engaging in parasite marketing, which later gave rise to the slightly more palatable name of ambush marketing. Ambush marketing or ambush advertising is a marketing strategy in which an advertiser ambushes an event to compete for exposure against other advertisers. The term was coined by marketing strategist Jerry Welsh, while he was working as the manager of global marketing efforts for American Express in the 1980s. Most ambush marketing campaigns aim to associate a brand with the prominence of a major event, without actually being an official partner or sponsor of said event. An advertiser may indirectly ambush an event by alluding to its imagery and themes without referencing any specific trademarks associated with it, or indirect and predatory means, where an advertiser engages in the fraudulent use of official names and trademarks to deliberately mislead consumers. Actions against ambush advertising are most common in sport, where major events such as the FIFA World Cup, Olympic Games, and the Super Bowl are prominent targets, as the practice can devalue and dilute exclusive sponsorship rights, and in some cases, infringe upon the organizer's intellectual property rights. Such actions may include restricting advertising in clean zones around an event site, removing or obscuring references to non-sponsors at venues, and requiring host countries to pass laws to grant the organizer legal rights to enforce clean zones, and to restrict the use of specific words and concepts to create unofficial associations with the event. Anti-ambush marketing regulations have attracted controversy for limiting freedom of speech, and for preventing companies from factually promoting themselves in the context of an event. Typically, ambush marketing is used to ride off the prominence and draw of a major event, aligning promotional activities and publicity around it, without having to pay fees to the event's organizer to be designated as an official sponsor in a certain product category. Ambush marketing techniques can be classified into two categories. The first, direct forms of ambush marketing, involve advertisers promoting themselves as being a part of or associated with an event, diluting the exposure of official sponsors in their respective campaigns, especially if they are the product of the non-sponsor's competitors, while indirect forms of ambush marketing use imagery relating to an event in advertising to evoke a mental connection with it, without specifically mentioning it. Predatory forms of direct ambush marketing involve fraudulent claims by a non-sponsor that pass themselves off as being an official sponsor, usually by making direct references to trademarks relating to an event, but without having any official authorization from the event's organizers to identify itself as an official sponsor or use its trademarks. An advertiser may attempt to perform a publicity stunt inside the venue itself to attract attention to their brand, such as having attendees wear attire that is associated with the company. An official sponsor can also be involved in direct ambush marketing if they perform more extensive promotional activities at an event than they were originally authorized, such as distributing branded merchandise when they were only granted advertising on signage, especially if these activities compete with those of another sponsor authorized to do so. A company may also perform direct ambush marketing by riding coattails, factually marketing their role in connection to an event or its participants. For example, a company which produces sporting equipment may advertise that they are the official supplier for a specific athlete or team. Similarly, a non-sponsor may choose to solely sponsor the events telecast by a broadcaster, but not the event itself. The factual acknowledgement of a non-sponsor's involvement with the participants in an event by, for example, a television host or commentator, can also be considered an incidental form of coattail marketing, as it provides additional unpaid publicity to the brand. Most forms of indirect ambush marketing involve a non-sponsor making use of imagery, themes, and values similar to what the event and campaigns from official sponsors express, either positively or negatively, and without making specific references to the event itself or its trademarks. In essence, the advertiser markets itself using content that evokes a mental association with the event, and as a result, appeals to those who are aware of the event. Advertisers may use a well-known nickname for the event that is not a trademark, such as the big game. Similarly, a non-sponsor may use distractive techniques to divert consumers' attention away from the actual event and its official sponsors using similarly indirect means. For example, a non-sponsor may saturate the area at or around its venue, including street vendors, billboards, and public transport, with a competing marketing presence. Such saturation marketing may either be indirectly related to the event, or be incidental and make no references at all. In some cases, a company may sponsor or create a similar parallel property, designed to compete directly with a major property by evoking similar thematics. With the Vancouver Winter Olympics just ahead, the action on the slopes, links and halfpipes won't be the only competition. For every Olympics, and other high-profile sporting events, ambush marketing often provides a sideshow. Ambush marketing refers to when an advertiser that is not an official sponsor of an event tries to associate itself with the event without paying any sponsorship fees, and every Olympic provides a new venue for creative ambush marketers. This is frustrating for the advertisers that pay millions of dollars to be official sponsors, and it can weaken an event organizer's bargaining position when trying to line up sponsors for future events. Like most events, sponsorship fees are a big part of the Olympic budget. The Vancouver Organizing Committee for the 2010 Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games announced that it had already secured over $720 million in sponsorship fees for the 2010 Winter Olympics. In exchange for those sponsorship fees, official sponsors typically get exclusive rights to certain advertising opportunities such as banners on the race course, naming rights to tournaments or event locations, being the official provider of a team's uniform or shoes, merchandise tie-ins, and VIP tickets. Examples of ambush marketing include advertising on billboards that are near the sporting event, for example, outside a stadium or along a marathon route, flying airborne banners or huge inflatable over the event, handing out freebies such as t-shirts, flags or caps near the event so that those inside a stadium are wearing or waving the logos of an ambush marketer, creating ads that reference the sporting event, usually in generic terms to avoid liability for trademark infringement, sponsoring individual players at sporting events so that they are wearing the ambush marketer's logo, sponsoring a news conference where team players are invited to speak, advertising a sweepstakes which will award tickets to sporting events as prizes, and running ads after an event congratulating the teams or players. There have been many well-known ambush marketing skirmishes at the Winter and Summer Olympics involving big-name brands such as Kodak and Fujifilm, American Express and Visa, and Reebok and Nike. Just recently, Major League Soccer filed suit against Black & Decker, accusing the company of engaging in several ambush marketing tactics surrounding games featuring the Mexican national soccer team. MLS claims that, as part of Black & Decker's marketing strategy to reach more Hispanic consumers, the company set up booths near soccer matches featuring the Mexican national team to advertise its products, used MLS logos and trademarks in promotional flyers, and gave away tickets to MLS soccer matches to consumers who purchased $600 worth of Black & Decker tools. MLS has an exclusive power tool sponsorship with Makita, a Black & Decker competitor. Although ambush marketing may be more prevalent at high-profile events like the Olympics or World Cup, action sports events are certainly not immune. As action sports grows, ambush marketing will no doubt be a problem for event organizers, and the time to combat ambush marketing, for all event organizers, is well before the event starts. One of the difficulties in dealing with ambush marketing is it often does not violate any laws, unless the ambush marketer uses the trademarks of an event organizer or an official sponsor or otherwise engages in unfair or deceptive conduct. State and federal laws prohibit a company from using somebody else's trademark without permission in a way that causes confusion, for example, including another's trademark on a company's product or to advertise the company's own product or service. There are many state and federal unfair competition and false advertising laws that prohibit companies from competing unfairly or engaging in deceptive behavior to market or sell their products. However, many ambush marketers are sophisticated enough that they know not to use an event sponsor's trademark, and their behavior, while annoying, usually doesn't rise to the level of being deceptive or unfair. Because ambush marketing might not violate any laws, it can be difficult for event organizers and official sponsors to prevent or mitigate the damage caused by ambush marketing. But there are a number of strategies available. The event organizer can maintain strict control over tickets by using language prohibiting unauthorized uses, such as giving away tickets as part of a sweepstakes. The event organizer can buy all advertising space that is close to the venues where the sporting events will take place and sell that space only to official sponsors. Official sponsors and/or the event organizer can launch a public education campaign that emphasizes that sponsorship fees are used to help athletes train for events, and an aggressive strategy of publicly identifying ambush marketers, although some ambush marketers will welcome this exposure. The event organizer can emphasize what it can offer official sponsors, such as VIP passes and special events that only official sponsors can invite fans to attend. The event organizer can assemble teams to monitor the areas near the venues for ambush marketing activity and have a command center ready to deal with ambush marketing activities. Anticipating that ambush marketing will occur, the event organizer can have a legal team in place and be prepared to seek an injunction immediately upon learning of ambush marketing that violates trademark or unfair competition laws. Although ambush marketing may be perceived as a harmless competitive event between mega companies, those sponsors that pay the huge sponsorship fees know that it is a serious problem that dilutes the value of their sponsorship. To protect the official sponsors, event organizers and the sponsors should spend time and money in advance of the event planning on how to combat ambush marketing. If nothing is done until the ambush marketer's inflatable appears overhead at the event, or the t-shirts have been distributed just outside the arena, the damage will already have been done. Ambush marketing is the creation of an unofficial association between an organization/brand and a particular event, thereby reaping the recognition and benefit of an official sponsor without having paid for the privilege. The events most frequently targeted by ambush marketers are sporting events, such as national tournaments, the Football World Cup and the Olympic Games. These events are watched, and otherwise followed, by millions of people, and often have a huge amount of goodwill associated with them as a result. Organizations will pay significant sums to be an official sponsor. Perhaps you're wondering what could be the definition of ambush marketing. It also goes by the name of hijacking, predatory ambushing or coattail marketing. Ambush marketing is the process of hijacking the advertising campaign of some other marketers to compete and get more exposure to your product or service. Jerry Welsh, an American strategist, is the first person who used the term ambush marketing in the 1980s when he was working for the American Express. In simple words, you take advantage of some big event by attaching yourself with it in disguise, when you're not even part of it. Creative and intelligent. You have to be very creative and intelligent to use the campaign of some other advertiser to your advantage. It may seem very simple and easy, but it requires a lot of planning to execute it perfectly. Timing matters a lot in ambush marketing. Legal and illegal. As they say, it is only illegal when you're caught. Undoubtedly, it requires a lot of risk, but it's worth trying when you're at war with your marketing competitors. It is wrong when you talk about morality and ethics, then so does burning fossil fuels is wrong. But you do these things anyway. There's a limit to everything. If you stay in the limit, it's good, otherwise, not. Unexpected outcome. Ambush marketing involves a lot of risks because you're utilizing someone else's circumstances. Where you're not in control of your circumstances, things can go wrong at any time and you have to face unexpected outcomes. In direct ambush marketing, a brand's team aggressively uses various activities to associate themselves with an event without being a sponsor or a partner. There are 4 types of direct marketing. Predatory ambushing is a technique that includes one brand attacking another, an official sponsor of an event, which prevents people from identifying an actual sponsor. Coattail ambushing is a strategy where a brand aims at gaining exposure by becoming a sponsor of a person who participates in the event. Property or trademark infringement is when a brand uses logos, symbols, or phrases of another brand to promote its services that often leads to confusion among customers and diminishes the marketing efforts of the property's owner. Self-ambushing means that a brand has sponsorship rights but gets involved in activities not mentioned in the contract. Indirect ambush marketing doesn't necessarily involve association with an event but rather tries to align a company through a suggestion or reference to it. This strategy doesn't include a brand that attacks another brand but allows you to gain exposure. BMW and Audi. It may be hard to believe, but even such influential car manufacturers like Audi and BMW that have the love and trust of the audience, great profit, and popularity, also use ambush advertising in their marketing efforts. Billboards became the battleground for these big brands. Audi saw an opportunity to promote itself by provoking BMW with billboard ads that included sharp slogans placed next to BMW's billboard. Samsung and Apple fans, for sure, remember the year 2011, the release of a new iPhone 4S. Since the device launch was one of the most awaited moments of the year, Apple's rival, Samsung, decided to intervene by building a pop-up store not far from Apple's storefront in Sydney. People had to stand in a long line and pay a big sum of money to buy a new mobile device. At the same time, just a few feet away, Samsung was selling its Galaxy S2 for an attractive price. Some people didn't resist such a tempting offer and went home with a new Samsung instead of Apple's new product. Thank you for watching the video and subscribe the channel.